Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. I'm Old Man Aubin, and the purpose of my channel is to help high schoolers and young adults navigate their complicated world by giving them a different perspective of looking back at the same choices that I made when I was your age and what I learned in the process of both my successes and my failures. Today I'm going to be wrapping up with part 8 of my life story, how I got here. And it'll be my final installment, but I'll be making lots more videos in the future of just specific topics. Well, as I settled into the next phase of my life, my preteen and high school years, I learned how to survive my grandfather's explosions, I guess you'd call them. Things would go really well for a while, a couple weeks, couple months, and then I'd do something to set him off, and it was like a bomb. My dad and I, we had a complicated relationship. He taught me a great many things. He taught me how to fish. He taught me how to cut down trees with a chainsaw. He taught me how to drive. He taught me how to drive a bulldozer. I had a really interesting life. It was quite a bit different than what I'd been used to in the big city. Living in the country gave me all kinds of chances and choices that I didn't have before. And when things went well, they went really well. But when things went bad, it was really bad. I took his abuse during grade school, and then I took his abuse through middle school, and about halfway through high school. But in high school, in about my sophomore year, I shoved him up against the wall when he hit me. And I told him that if he ever hit me and my sister again, I would kill him. And I meant it. And our relationship was never the same after that. We just kind of tolerated each other, and from that point on, we were almost like roommates in the same house. Kind of a quiet, strange politeness developed between us. I got really involved with my friends and got really involved with girls. Spent a lot of time away from home. I really didn't care to be home any more than I needed to because I didn't want to have to deal with him. And I became a very angry young man. I was ready to fight at the drop of a hat. If someone ever called me a liar, or they called me stupid, or did anything that made me feel disrespected, I'd just get in their face. And I'd beat on them until I felt like they had a proper respect for me and a fear for me sometimes. Then I moved away. When I turned 18, I moved away to the city to go to tech school, and I left the relationship with my dad unresolved. I just left home with an attitude of good riddance, see you later. Didn't really care to have any relationship with him. And that was kind of pretty much the way we left it. And then at the end of my first year of tech school, I got the phone call that Dad had a stroke. And he was fading fast. It was wintertime. It was right around Christmas. And the weather was bad. But I knew from what the doctor had told me that he wasn't going to last long. And so I got in my car and I headed home. And it was a 3-hour drive in good weather. It was a 6-hour drive in the weather that I had. And it was bad. I drove all night. I got back home, and when I got home, Dad wasn't there, and neither was Mom. They had been taken to a hospital with the specialist that was required for what was going on with him, and that was 4 hours away from my home. I'd just driven all night to get home, and now I had to drive another 4 hours. But the problem is it wasn't 4 hours because the weather was awful, and it turned out closer to 7 hours before I got to the hospital where my dad was. I went into the hospital and found out where my dad's room was. They let me in. And Mom was there, of course. And she left to go to the cafeteria and get something to eat. And it was just me in the room alone with Dad. And we had a one-way conversation, but it was, I think, a good conversation. Dad couldn't talk. He was intubated. He was awake, and he was trying so hard to tell me something. And he was grabbing my arm and pulling me close. And I knew what he was trying to say. He was trying to apologize for what had gone on between us. And I know this is a hot topic in today's society. Everybody now is so worried about the way things look and child abuse and legalities and children being able to sue their parents and everything else. But if I look back and I honestly look at my life and my dad's life, I know that he did something that was extraordinary when he took me and my sister in. He took us in, he gave us a home, he gave us everything that he had. He was born and raised in a different world than I was. He was born and raised in the hills of Kentucky in 1908. And if you do the math, when I was 8 years old, that would be 1968. That means that he was 60 years old. So when I was 18, he was 70 years old. I know that he loved us. And I know that he did what he really honestly felt in his heart was what we needed. He didn't want me to turn out like my mom. He didn't want me to turn out like his son. And so he tried everything that he could to teach me to be honest and to be a hardworking man and to be a kind of man that he wanted to be himself. I know that he did the best he could. And in those final moments when we spent together, I rubbed his head, his forehead, and I said, Dad, I know. It's okay. I love you. I forgive you. And the tears ran down his eyes. He couldn't speak. But I'm glad I had the chance to do that. To be honest, though, there's been many, many, many times as I've grown older that I wish that I had the opportunity to sit out in the yard with him one more time around the barbecue grill, underneath the shade tree, and just spend some time with him, man to man, adult to adult. Because our relationship was angry teenage boy to father trying to teach him something. And that's a tough way to end a relationship, but that's how it ended. And so I guess if I have anything to say about that that would be meaningful to you, I would hope that it would be, don't take your parents for granted. They have a hard job. They have to walk a balancing act between being your friend and being your parent, teaching you what you need to know to make it through life, but at the same time, enjoying the time that they have with you before you turn 18 and move away. My daughters are now 35 years old, 37 years old. I would love to go back and spend a couple days when they were 15 and 16 again. But those days are gone. When I was 16, when I was 15, when I was 14, all I wanted was to be able to be old enough to be able to do what I wanted to do, to get away from home, to do what I wanted to do and be what I wanted to be. But all too soon, I was 18. And then I was 25, and then I was 30, and then I was 40, and then I was 50, and now I'm 65, and I don't know where the days went. It goes so fast. Try to enjoy your life where you're at. Make the most of every minute of it. As my great-grandma, which was Willard's mom, who was the greatest, sweetest thing in my life that I ever knew, Grandma Polly. She said to me one time, "Boy, don't wish your life away because it's going to go fast. It's going to go faster than you think, and it's going to be gone before you know it." And now I find myself 65 years old. In my heart, I still feel like I'm 20, but I'm not. My knees tell me that. My heart feels like it's 20, but my knees definitely feel like I'm 65. Enjoy your life. Hold on to it. Try not to be so angry and frustrated and bitter. Try to understand that there are people in your life that are trying to help you. They're trying to give you the best advice that they know how to give. And I know it seems sometimes like all they want to do is ruin your life. But they probably love you and care for you more than you realize. There's been many times that my daughters have come back to me over the years and said, "Oh, Dad, how did you ever put up with what we did?" And you know what? It was easy, because I never forgot how hard it was to be a kid, which is the whole purpose and reason that I have put this channel together. When I moved to the city, I got in fights. I was financially irresponsible. I was getting jobs and quitting jobs and moving on to new jobs. I was going to school, dropping out, signing up for school again. All the things that happened, well, they happened because of choices that I made, even when I was 15 or 16 years old, because they laid down a foundation of my character and who I was and who I would become. Everything that happens in our life makes us what we are and who we are. If you're angry, if you're frustrated, or if you try to see the good in people as opposed to the bad in people, all these things have an effect on the kind of man or woman that you will become. And there's very few things, I think, in life that are more powerful than regret. Regret is a terrible thing. And the only way to avoid regret is to constantly reevaluate your life and make adjustments. Are you the kind of person that you're proud to be? And that someday you will look back and say, "I had a good life." That's my goal for you. And that's what I hope that this channel helps you find. So that's going to be it for today. Hit the like button if you liked this video, if it was helpful. And subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content from me in the future. And leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Or maybe if you have a question that I could help you with, leave that in the comments section. Have a great day, my friends. We'll see you on the next one.